Kim Chiu looks upset after Paulo Avelino interview. What happened? Hi there, welcome to Celeb Buzz, the hotspot for everything celebrity. From red carpet reveals to behind the scenes drama, we've got the buzz you crave. If you love staying in the loop, hit subscribe, tap that bell, and share the love with your friends. Let's dive into today's celeb scoop. The public dynamic between Kim Chiu and Paulo Avelino has once again become the center of intense scrutiny, this time following an interview that has sparked widespread speculation about a possible shift in tone between the two. What initially appeared to be a routine media appearance by Paulo Avelino quickly escalated into a topic of debate after viewers began linking his statements to Kim Chiu's subsequent public demeanor, which some interpreted as noticeably subdued or unsettled. The interview in question did not contain any overtly controversial remarks. Paulo maintained his characteristic composure, speaking in reflective and measured terms about his career, personal growth, and perspectives on relationships. However, certain segments of the conversation, particularly those addressing emotional readiness and the complexities of personal connections, were perceived by attentive audiences as carrying implicit meaning. These interpretations gained momentum as clips circulated widely, prompting viewers to analyze not only what was said, but how it was said. Shortly after the interview gained traction, appearances by Kim Chiu began to attract increased attention. Observers noted subtle changes in her expressions and tone, describing her as more reserved than usual. While such assessments are inherently subjective, the consistency of these observations across different instances contributed to a growing narrative that something may have shifted following Paulo's remarks. This perceived contrast between his reflective openness and her quieter presence became the focal point of ongoing discussions. A critical element driving this narrative is the established expectation surrounding their connection. Over time, audiences have developed a strong sense of familiarity with their interactions, both on-screen and off. This familiarity creates a framework within which even minor variations in behavior can be interpreted as significant. In this case, Kim Chiu's demeanor, whether genuinely altered or simply perceived differently, was quickly contextualized within the broader storyline linking her to Paulo Avelino. From a communication analysis standpoint, the situation illustrates how meaning is often constructed through correlation rather than direct evidence. Paulo's interview, while not explicitly referencing Kim in a definitive way, introduced themes that audiences readily associated with her. When followed by her seemingly more restrained public presence, these elements combined to form a narrative that suggests emotional impact, even in the absence of confirmation. This process reflects a common pattern in media interpretation, where timing and context amplify perceived connections. Fan reactions have been notably divided. One segment of the audience views the sequence of events as indicative of underlying tension, suggesting that Paulo's statements may have unintentionally revealed or triggered something significant. These interpretations often rely on detailed analyses of body language, vocal tone, and timing, treating each element as a potential clue. Another segment, however, approaches the situation with greater caution, emphasizing the risks of drawing conclusions based on limited and indirect information. They argue that public figures, like all individuals, can display variations in mood for reasons unrelated to widely circulated narratives. Kim Chiu's established communication style further complicates the interpretation. Known for her professionalism and composure, she rarely addresses speculative narratives directly, instead maintaining a focus on her work and broader public engagements. This measured approach, while effective in preserving personal boundaries, also leaves space for continued speculation, as audiences attempt to fill in gaps with their own interpretations. Meanwhile, Paulo Avelino's position remains consistent with his long-standing preference for subtlety. His interview did not deviate dramatically from his usual style, yet the context in which it was received transformed its impact. This highlights an important aspect of contemporary media dynamics. The meaning of a statement is not determined solely by its content, but also by the environment in which it is interpreted. In this case, an already engaged audience amplified the significance of otherwise measured reflections. The broader phenomenon underscores the evolving relationship between public figures and their audiences. With constant access to content and the ability to share interpretations instantly, viewers play an active role in shaping narratives. Moments that might once have passed without extensive analysis now become focal points for collective examination, with each perspective contributing to a layered and often complex discourse. Ultimately, the question of what truly happened remains open. The perceived shift in Kim Chiu's demeanor, when viewed alongside Paulo Avelino's interview, creates a compelling narrative, but one that is built largely on interpretation rather than confirmed detail. This ambiguity is precisely what sustains public interest, encouraging ongoing engagement and discussion. Whether the situation reflects a genuine emotional response or simply the natural variability of public appearances, it has once again demonstrated the powerful interplay between perception, timing, and narrative in shaping how stories unfold in the public eye. That's the latest from Celeb Buzz. If you enjoyed the scoop, smash that like button, subscribe for more star-studded updates, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss a beat. Share this video with your fellow celeb fans, and we'll see you in the next buzz.